Hello, bookworms! See, there's no more glare right here, I don't think, because the window's not open, or the blinds. And usually I have to keep the blinds open because the lighting is weird if it's not. So I hope the lighting isn't weird in this video, and if it is, I'm going to be really, really pissed off. So, yeah. So, hello! I'm here to do a book tag, and this tag is called the We Love Books book tag, and it was started by Ryan Reed's Books. But I have not watched that video. I watched it on Sue's channel, Sue Morrow. So check those channels out below, because, yeah, they're pretty cool, I'm sure. I really like Sue's channel, so, yeah. And basically, We Read Books. Wow, that's not the... No. We Read Books is a collab channel, Dylan. This is a tag. So the We Love Books tag is basically an acronym for a bunch of questions, which I am going to answer right now, after I say the first question. What book would you keep in your collection if they all had to be burned in a fire by accident, but you can only pick one book to save, so pick one book, so save it right now. And since I want like a big book that's dark and awesome, and it's from an author that I love this author, can you guess what it is? I would totally save The Complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe, because it has a raven on it, and a skull in the background, which you can't see, and there's also a skull and a raven on the back, because skulls and ravens go hand in hand, or I guess, in skull and eye socket. That was stupid. But anyway, I love Poe. I think he's brilliant, and I could read him all day, even though I'd probably get really, really depressed and stuff. Each time you have something to read, do you have something to munch on or drink? Not normally, no. I usually just read on my bed without any substance whatsoever. Love of books. When did it start, and what was your first novel that got you into reading? It started when I was in 7th grade. I had the most amazing teacher, and we were required to read The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, which is an amazing book, and I love it to death. To this day, I've read it like 5 times, or no, I guess like 3, but I've reread it a lot, and, well, 3's a lot for me anyway, and I just love this book. It's so good, and it made me just fall in love with reading. I love the characters, the story, I love how short it is, I love that the lessons that you learn in this book is just so wonderful. I love it so much. And the other book I read that same year was Call of the Wild by Jack London, and it's not this thick. Call of the Wild is this thick. It's actually thicker in the edition that I have, but in this huge book, it's like, what, 50 pages. So it's bigger in the actual novel, but this is a huge, like, collection of it, so the words are small, and that's not words. Well, there is words on that page, but it's not what I was trying to pull out there. But yes, I love Jack London. He's a great novelist. He's a classic author that I love. I love how he adds nature into his novels, and I love wolves and dogs, and I think that using them as main characters are just amazing, and I love him to death. This next question may get me a little bit of hate. One book you would never reread. That's The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I know that that is well loved by a lot of people, and I know that there's a lot of great metaphors and symbolism in that book, which is awesome. I love metaphors and I love symbolism, but the story was absolutely boring, and it was just, it was like trying to get through a slow 600-page novel, but it's only 140 pages, and you're thinking, what the fuck? And nothing happens. I don't like it. I just don't. I did not care about any of the characters, and it was just so boring. I just didn't care, and I don't want to revisit it ever, and that's just me. I don't like it, so let's move on. Very romantic, or very action-packed? Why did I do that? I'm gonna have to go with very romantic, because, okay, I have a confession. I have an affinity for LGBT literature, not just because the characters are amazing and the stories are memorable and wonderful life lessons for everyone, but because there are sexy boys, and I love sexy boys, and I also love when they kiss and make out, and I get really, 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 really horny, and yeah. That was probably a little bit too much information, but I just had to say it because, oh my god. But yes, very romantic. I love romance, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good, especially LGBT literature, but also I love Stephanie Perkins and Morgan Matson and Simone Alcalez, and now Rochelle Mead. Rochelle. And she's kind of a good mix between action and romance, I think. I love her. So, yeah. End of a book. Cliffhanger or no cliffhanger? Definitely no cliffhanger, because much like Hazel, I do not want to read my favorite book and have a cliffhanger ending. I hate cliffhangers. And it would kill me. It made Hazel so upset, and she wanted to find out what was wrong with it, or what happened to the characters later on. And I like it to be neatly tied up into a non-cliche bow, but non-cliche, or not cheesy, I guess, kind of. I'm very picky, I guess, so I'm a picky reader. I like to pick books around and stuff, and that's not sexual at all. Big books or small books? Definitely small books, because I cannot get through thick books. I just can't. I tried reading The Stand and It, and while those stories are really, really interesting and good, I love the writing, but I just got so bored, and I just have such a small attention span, and I just got so intimidated by the size of the book, and I can't finish. I just can't finish big books. I can't do it. Unless, I guess this is kind of weird, but for a series, I guess I can if it's split up, which I guess is kind of weird, because in a sense, it's 2,000 pages altogether, but for some reason it seems smaller to me. I don't know. It's weird. And another thing that's weird is that this doesn't intimidate me, or I guess it kind of does, but, I can just sit here and read loss of breath, and read, the 10 pages that it is, and be fine with that, because it's just one little tiny story, and it's all tied up together at the end, and it doesn't waste my time at all. It's just quick and fun, or maybe not fun, actually, because Poe is kind of depressing, so it's not fun, but in a strange way, I find Poe fun, because Poe is just a genius, and I love him. Where was I going with this? I don't like thick books, that's where I was going. Only one genre or several? I definitely like several genres, even though I could read realistic fiction over and over again for months. Sometimes I get in those moods where I just want to read a paranormal romance, maybe, or a fantasy, or sometimes mostly realistic fiction, but I like a mixture, because it depends on my mood, I guess. Olden day, present day, or future. Basically Victorian era novels, contemporary fiction, or dystopian novels. Definitely contemporary fiction. You guys knew that already. I love reading books in this era, especially about teenagers dealing with their struggles, or even adults too. I love contemporary stuff. I love learning something about people and their own lives and how it interconnects with each other, and I love dialogue between characters as well, and I just feel like that is my favorite genre. And, I love Clockwork Angel, which is a steampunk, so I do love that, and I also love The Hunger Games, which is a dystopian, but if I had to choose, I would pick present day, just because I love realistic fiction and the messages that it tells. Katniss or Hermione? No, Eric. But seriously, if I had to pick, it's actually not really hard at all. I have to go with Katniss. I feel like she was the stronger of the two characters on this choice. While I do appreciate that Hermione is a bookworm, and she is smart, and she doesn't take any shit, I appreciate that, but in the beginning of the series, she was a little not very... she was a bitch, okay, just gonna say that, she was a bitch. And I just don't like her in the first few books. She gets better later on, but I love Katniss from the beginning to end, so that's my answer. I love Katniss more than Hermione, that's my answer. Standalone or series? I'm gonna bring up With or Without You again for this answer, because, yeah, it's With or Without You, duh. I love standalone novels. As I said, I love it when a book is just, it starts and finishes and it's all wrapped up in a bow and it makes you think. I love just standalone novels. I like it better. Even though I do like series 2, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I love standalone novels more. And plus, again, It's With or Without You by Brian Ferry. Or Brian Farry. I think it's Farry. I don't know how to pronounce his name and I almost dropped it. But I love you, Brian. I love you, and I love this book, and I love everything about it. I love Eric. He is like the best character in the freaking world, and I could go on and on for hours. But, okay, so that is the tag. Those are all the questions. It's getting really hot in here. Maybe it's because I'm talking about With or Without You, and I'm thinking about Eric. That's why it's hot. I'm going to tag Melissa, Leanne, Danny, and Renee, I think. Or maybe I'll just tag those 4. Those 4 people, you are tagged. I will leave all their channels below, in the description below, and I like to dance, because I like to dance, and pick my ear, because that's attractive. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you decide to do this tag. If you do, send it to Ryan's channel, send it as a video response to him, or me, or whatever. Just, I want to see it, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time, okay? I love you, bye-bye. My book has been to the top. That is not fun. Oh no. I still love it.